working beyond the official working hours
That's
to make
quite
sure
tough.
that we meet the deadline, yes.
But it has made your staff also very popular these days.
Well, we've been popular for quite a while.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
more popular this
Yeah,
time.
more popular this time around, yes.
All
And
right.
then every people you have not spoken to in years
Yes.
now realize they need an
Yeah.
identity, and then they will start calling you. How do I get my ID? Yeah.
That's serious. All right, so it's a pleasure to have you on the program. We'll get to talk more as the program proceeds.
Thank you.
Now, for our listener, join the conversation as we're streaming live on www.facebook.com/Radio Nigeria Network, or simply search our website, Radio Nigeria. You can also follow the conversation on our YouTube channel via Radio Nigeria Have Your Say, just in one word. Radio Nigeria Have Your Say. The lines to call to be part of the program: 0807 622 6771. Once again, the first line 0807 622 6771. Second line 0705 149 3324. Once again, second line 0705 149 3324. Slowly this time. First line 0807 622 6771 and 0705 149 3324. It's as simple as that. For SMS and WhatsApp, you can send to 0705 864 2473. Once again, for WhatsApp and text messages, send that's only to 0705 864 2473. Please turn down the volume of your radio set to avoid a holdback. Make your contributions short and straight to the point. Thank you very much. We hope to have a successful program. Now, to you, Haja. Let's start by identifying who is eligible to be part of this National Identification Number registration exercise. 18 years and above, or just everyone needs to have it?
Okay, as defined by the NIMC Act, it's everybody, and everybody means every citizen of Nigeria from birth to an old person, and then every person, whether a citizen or not, that is permanently resident in Nigeria. That is someone that has a permanent residency. And then thirdly, a non-citizen who is residing in Nigeria or who is working and living in Nigeria that is going to live for more than 2 years. That is exceeding the visiting or tourist visa period that is usually been issued, yes.
Okay.
Those are the people eligible to register in Nigeria. So for citizens, whether they are in Nigeria or not, we register them. Those citizens in diaspora too, we have centers in about 15 countries that are enrolling them. And in country, we do Nigerians and legal, what we term legal residents.
So many Nigerians reacted and said that there is this urgency in registration, and with the deadline with the telcos and telephone lines being disconnected. Given that, even after the stipulated time, people may still have the need to buy SIMs. What happens after then? Because buying of SIM, I'm sure, will continue. It's a continuous exercise. People always want to buy more lines or change lines and so on. What happens in that area?
Okay, what the announcement is for harmonization of existing SIMs that are active. That is the harmonization, and the deadline did not come now. Registration started in 2012 in NIMC for the National Identification Number. It's a civic duty upon every person that is eligible to be registered, to be identified. So for going forward, for buying of SIM or new activation, you cannot even go to an MNO except you have a NIN. And if you don't have the NIN, the MNOs also, that is the mobile network operators, have been issued licenses to be able to enroll a person, issue the person a NIN, and then continue with the process of sell or activation of new SIMs. That's how the system is going to work, and that's what we call the ecosystem approach.
Okay.
The ecosystem approach means that it's not only in NIMC offices that you can get registered and be issued a NIN. We have licensed some government agencies and some private sector companies to be able to do this NIN capture and send to our database. We send back the NIN and they issue the NIN to the person that is being registered.
Okay. So where are we at the moment on the National Identification Number registration? especially with concerns about the COVID-19 pandemic, the deluge of Nigerians at registration centers. What is the next move now to guide against the spread of COVID-19 and also to manage that challenge of managing this crowd?
Okay, from day one, when we resume work after the lockdown, we have maintained the rules and regulations on the COVID-19 preventive measures. We have done that. And when this announcement, it's not even a fresh announcement, when the reminder came up, because the announcement was in February, when the reminder came up on the SIM register, we still did that. But the problem is our Nigerian people, when they get there and you are assigned a number, a date to register, we take in the actual number that we can take in a day, because we have to observe that COVID-19 requirement. So there's a certain number we can take to ensure that the social distancing and all the rest are observed within our compound. So when we take that number, the remaining that are outside, that have been allotted dates and numbers to come back, remain loitering. They stay back loitering around on the streets. So that is what you, the press, are seeing, those outside. But when you go into our premises, you will see that people are seated accordingly, well mannered and orderly. Yes. It's just to call on Nigerians that if you are not taking that day, please and please go back to your home or to your workplace and come back on the allotted date that you are assigned.
But some Nigerians are saying that the reason why they didn't utilize the 10 months that were given was due to the challenges of the lockdown, COVID-19 pandemic, and that they're asking for more time.
Lockdown was in sometimes in March, middle of March or so. It was for 3 months or so.
Yes.
That was April, May, June. Since July, we've been active and back. So that is not an excuse. It's not an excuse because NIMC has been on registering since 2012. People did not believe in it. Nigerians are always waiting for for something to push them to do it. That is the reason. Whether there is going to be an extension or not, it is the decision of the ministerial committee, because there's a ministerial committee on this assignment that meets regularly to review the progress, the performance, and then take decisions on it. So it's for that ministerial committee to look at the situation, to look at what has been the number of people that have been registered.
Now, last week your staff down tools. There was an industrial action taken by the unions there, and this drew the attention of the federal government, and so many Nigerians were worried as well. What is the situation right now?
Well, the situation is they are back at work. That's the situation, and one of the major reasons they went on strike is on the safety and protection of the staff, which I believe they were not sincere on that point, because even at the point of going on strike, we have received the COVID support from the World Bank, and those support have been distributed to all the regional offices before the date of that strike. So that cannot be a reason, because staff have been adequately prepared and supported with the necessary tools that they need to prevent and protect themselves. Yeah. And even for all our premises, because it's not only, the support was not only for preventive gears for the staff. There are disinfectant, hand washing devices, everything for even our customers that are coming in. The infrared temperature, all those things were supplied by the World Bank, and all those things have been distributed to our offices. The issue of salary is another thing. Government is already considering that. So it's for the union to discuss with the relevant authorities that are in charge of approval of salaries and wages. Okay,
they also talked about issues of promotion, allowances. Are all these issues going to be tackled within the time?
Well, issue of allowances, I don't know what they are talking of 28 days allowances. I know that the DG CEO, when he resumes office in 2015, he made sure that every transfer or 28 days, the 28 days allowance being claimed, he paid for it. There is none outstanding as at date. What they are talking of are liabilities that were incurred before 2015, and those ones we have sent them to the budget office because they have to be budgeted for. We cannot take it from what we cannot do virement on what we have. Those allowances must be budgeted for, and until and unless we receive those funds from the federal government, we will not be able to pay.
Now, is NIMC working in partnership with any other agency in this registration exercise? And how are you able to coordinate to ensure a smooth process in view of what we said in the introduction, that you're now having state governments, other data collecting organizations being part of the entire exercise? How come there's still this deluge on NIMC's registration centers?
Okay.
Are people not utilizing them?
Well, they are just about going to the field. As I'm talking to you today, the training exercise started because we have to train their staff and agents that are going to work with them to understand the rules and regulations and the processes for the enrollment. Because we are capturing citizens' data and people's data, we have to be mindful of provisions of data protection and privacy of individuals. So whoever is going to work for us must understand these rules and the implication when there are breaches. Okay. So those are the trainings that we started today. The first batch, this morning, because I'm head of that faculty, I'm here. I will join them later. Okay. So the training started today at 10 a.m. For the next 2 days, the first batch will be trained, and once they are trained, simultaneously we are doing equipment certification and integration, because we have announced them. They have to go and procure their equipment, and it's a process. It takes about 3 to 4 weeks to make sure that all the equipments are in place. Then we test the equipment. We do technical configuration of those equipments, because every equipment that is going to take data for the national ID issuance must use the NIMC enrollment software. Okay. Because that software was designed with privacy in mind, to make sure that only the system that has that software that sends information is the only system that our database will recognize. Okay. Because of the security implication. So when they take the data on that software, they send that data self-destruct. The system will not have that data anymore.
It goes and that's
it goes straight. Once you send, it goes, and you cannot copy, you cannot screenshot, you cannot do anything. Those are the rules and regulations for us to make sure that we protect the data that we are taking. Yes. Okay. So those are the processes that are ongoing. So give us till by Friday next week, you will see a lot of them in the field, and they may not be stationary. Some of them are planning to be mobile. Okay. I have seen a licensee that sent pictures of the mobile buses that they have configured. They are going street by street to enroll people. Some will be a single individual carrying their handheld devices, certified handheld devices that will be going door to door to people's homes. So people don't need to even rush to NIMC offices. And for some government agencies like road safety, the immigration service, and other, the MNOs, like two of the major MNOs have already started enrollment in all their locations. They have started that NIN enrollment. They issue NIN. So the same thing with government agencies, like road safety declared that by 25th of December, they made it mandatory too, because it's sector by sector that is making this NIN mandatory. So when you go to road safety, you'll be able to enroll if you don't have a NIN.
Right there.
They should be able to enroll you by the end of the next week. They should be able to enroll you, issue you a NIN, and then they can continue with their functional data requirement. Yeah.
Well, that's good news for Nigeria.
That is what we call the ecosystem.
So that by next week now we'll have Nigerians.
You will have a lot of points. People will be even knocking on your doors to do the registration. And please, everybody should note that when people come to you for registration, it is free. Do not pay a single kobo. And if anyone asks you to pay, kindly report to our offices.
That's good to
hear. It is free because government is paying for that service. For every registration and every individual that is registered and issued a NIN, there's a fee that particular agent is going to get.
Okay. So now many Nigerians registered over a decade ago. Some have some other numbers that they feel might have been redundant or feel that maybe some changes have occurred and so on. What happens to such numbers and the ID cards they collected, plastic ID cards, at least 10 years ago?
That is the previous exercise.
Yes, the previous
Those cards are no more legal tender, and we have announced it over 6 years ago that they are no more legal tender because the system has changed. It's no more a card issuance only because that project was to take information and issue card. It's not an open system, it's a closed system. And if you have to do identity, real identity, what is done all over the world is identity management. It's an open system that you issue an identity token and you'll be able to verify that identity token anywhere, any place you go. So even if you go to the United States today with your national identification number, that number, from that wherever they are, they can have access to our system to confirm that this is the real person with this identity.
Okay. So now, if we look at some other government agencies that have to collect data, let's use the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, for instance.
Yes.
You see people go to cyber cafe, to computer centers to do exercises like that. Apart from the explanation you just gave with data collection organizations, is there a possibility of this happening? Can this be utilized as well?
You know, there's what we call pre-enrollment. Pre-enrollment is even you as an individual, if you are IT survey, you can work on a computer or on your phone.
Yeah.
You can go to NIMC website and then open the pre-enrollment form, fill in your key demographic data, your names, the information required on that form. When you print it and complete it, it will generate a barcode. The form will generate a barcode. So you can either save it on your phone or you print it and you go to our offices. So you can go to a business center and do that same process too. Print it and go to, but you have to go to a recognized NIMC registration agent, office or the agent, to be able to complete the registration because biometrics must be taken at our locations.
Okay.
So it can be NIMC office or the new licenses that we have licensed, either government offices or the private licenses that are there.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So now let's ask for the MNOs. We know that some Nigerians already have these NIN numbers and have been getting to link it with the mobile numbers.
Yeah.
What's the situation with MNOs in this regard? Are they making progress, and how far so far?
Yes, they are making significant progress because when you in our office now, all of them have already installed their routers in our data center to make sure that as they are sending the information, when you go to their website to link your information now, it tells you that they will get back to you. So the process is, as you send it, they are sending it through the router that is installed, that are installed in our database, and the router is talking to the sending that information to our database to cross-check that NIN to make sure that the NIN exists. It's not a fake number that somebody inputted. You understand?
Okay,
And
yes.
once the process is completed, they will send back to you to say you have successfully harmonized your NIN with your SIM.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Now let's also look at some other identification numbers like this that have come into existence in the last 15 years in Nigeria. We've heard of TIN, tax identification number. We've heard of BVN, bank verification number. Now we're talking of NIN, which is the national identification number. Are there, besides linking NIN with telephone lines, are there a possibility of linking as well with other numbers that I just mentioned, like TIN, BVN, and so on?
Okay, so let me.
Because some
I need
Nigerians
to
will say-
correct. I need to correct
Okay.
something. The only identification number for a person's identity is the national identification number. The TIN you mentioned is for tax. It's tax identification. The BVN is for banking identification. How the system is going to work going forward, because this is what is supposed to be, and it is not. So going forward, NIN being the foundation, because even let me take you back. Nigerian Population Commission is the agency mandated to issue birth and death certificate.
Yes.
The NIMC need that input from Nigerian Population Commission. So the Nigerian Population Civic Registration and National ID Registration are what are called foundation identities. That is the foundation before you even start acquiring functional IDs.
Okay.
That is what you need, because you need to identify yourself first at the tax office before they can register you for TIN. You need to identify yourself first at driver's license before they determine whether you are eligible for a driver's license or not. You know, so going forward, we will do the normal thing, the process, how it's supposed to happen. That is why the World Bank support, the funding support that we are going to getting from the World Bank is to ensure that we register everybody. And then at a cut-off date, in the next 3 years, a cut-off date, then everything must be done how it should be done. So that any person born in the next 3 years or on that cut-off date must obtain a birth certificate. That birth registration input is given to NIMC. NIMC issued a national identification number from birth, so that as a child grows, you already have that national identification number. When you are going to school, kindergarten, nursery, primary, secondary, university, that number is what you carry throughout your life cycle. You start work, you open a bank, that number identifies you. So that will stop all this coming back of, I want to change my date of birth, I made a mistake. Okay. People, you know, employment, because we don't have documentation from birth. So people give 4 years in employment, they don't want to retire. Then they come to national ID not knowing that there will be harmonization. They give us the correct date. And then when Wahala starts, when harmonization starts with their offices, then they will come back to us. You made mistake. We will bring out the form you fill. This is what you gave us. This is correctly. So because of that, we have given allowances for people to make amendments once. Because we recognize that those breeder documents from birth do not exist for our age categories. Okay. But by the cut-off date, things must be done as it is done in every civilized part of the world. We have to go back and do the right thing.
All right. It's good to hear. Now, if you're just joining us, the program is Have Your Say, coming to you live on the network service of Radio Nigeria. And our guest is the General Manager, Legal, Regulatory and Compliance Services of the National Identity Management Commission, NIMC. Please stay with us. We'll be right back. After the break, we'll now take phone calls, reactions from Nigerians. Stay with us.
Nation building is a collective responsibility, and as part of efforts to bring dividends of democracy closer to the people, Have Your Say, your audience participatory program that promotes good governance, is back on air. Have Your Say, which comes up every Thursday at 10 o'clock in the morning, features relevant
ongoing NIN registration and challenges and issues around it. Our guest is the General Manager, Legal and Regulatory and Compliance Services of the National Identity Management Commission, NIMC, in person of Hajia Hadiza Dagabada. So, the lines to call, like we announced earlier, are 0807 622 6771 and 0705 149 3324. But before we take our first call, I just want a quick clarification. We did not mention issues about linking these numbers.
Yeah.
You might want to give us more insight into that.
Yes, I have explained that the NIN being the foundation identity, and then the government recognized that there are already existing bases in the country. So part of the mandate of the commission is to harmonize those existing databases, and that's what you call the database for the tax, that issues the TIN, the BVN, and the rest of them. We have already commenced harmonization we have done about between 14 to 15 million of the BVN records.
Okay.
So we have harmonized those one. Immigration services, we are in the process of doing that. And as you know, you cannot go and obtain an international passport if you don't have any now, because that is one of the process of harmonization. For the teen, the teen is harmonizing their existing 2-point-something million records with the NIN through verification by sending that data, and we run that data through our database to see the people that are already in the database. But for that process to be successful, there has to be uniform standards. And that is what we are seeing in other sectors. The standards are not uniform, so it will be difficult to harmonize. So you will have to call people to bring their NIN to those sectors for the harmonization. And as we go into the ecosystem, the major role of the National Identity Management Commission will be that of a regulator. Already there's a harmonization committee that has set up standards, biometric standards and demographic standards, so that going forward, any institution that is going to do data capture must do it according to a standard so that it can talk to the national ID database.
Okay, it's now time for us to hear from Nigerians. Like we said earlier, the lines are open. I think we have a caller. Hello?
Hello.
Hello, yes, good morning. Tell us your name and identify yourself.
Yeah.
Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from John Station.
You need to be louder. We can't hear you quite well. It's low.
My name is Ismail. I'm Ismail from John Station.
Okay, Ismail. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. I have a question about the program you're talking about today.
Okay.
Well, for instance, about when I want to find my identification number and I report it is low, how can I retrieve it, sir? This is my question.
How can he work?
Sorry, we didn't get your question. Can you repeat that? How can you what? Hello? Hello, are you there, Ismail? Hello? Okay. We couldn't hear what Ismail.
Hello?
Okay, hello? Yes, let's take another caller. Hello?
Hello, yeah. Good morning.
Yes, good morning.
My name is Nasir Usman Rawaya from Gusau, Zamfara State.
Nasir Usman, okay. Go ahead, please.
Yes, I have one question to Hajja Hadiza.
Okay.
My question is that can I link more than one SIM with one NIN number? For instance, can I link five SIM with one number, with one NIN number? Because if you look at it, it may look somehow suspicious. Can it be possible? Thank you very much. My name is Nasir Usman Rawai from Gusau.
Okay, all right. She'll answer the question. Let's take a few more.
Yeah, okay.
Or you want? Let's take a few more first then.
Okay.
Hello. Yes.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, good morning.
My name is Smile. I'm calling from Musuka.
Ismail.
Smile.
Smile.
Okay, Smile from
Yes.
Suka. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, please, I just want to make an appeal that I've gone to some centers, but what we see is most of the workers there, because of the influx of people, the high level of disrespect for people that come in is just too bad. They should be friendly. They are not fighting them. They are not fighting us. It's just because time choked us up. If not, they should be friendly. And two, just as you said in the studio that soonest there will be mobile registration. It should be implemented. It's not just be on radio talk low, and it should be done. And when it starts, people should be told. They should come to radio and tell people that go to so and so center, go to so and so place for registration, so that it will ease off on what we see currently on different centers. That's my take.
All right. Thank you, Smile, for calling. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, please.
Yeah, Daniel, how are you today?
I'm doing great. Thank you.
Yeah, this is the radio senator, Mr. Andrew Ajayi. I call you from Edo State and Port Harcourt, respectively.
All right. Good. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, good greetings to the legal man there.
Legal Haja.
I would have expected that the Oga Patakota comes so that let's hear from the horse's mouth himself. However, I want to think it's timely that you came to talk to Nigerians. But my own opinion as a Nigerian is that the methodology in which you people are using is not good at all, in the sense that you can't be calling Nigerians out like that the way you people are doing, and you now think that that is proper. I would have said maybe understudy the United States of America's way of registering their citizens, Britain, and any other country. You will see that they don't have to bring out their people to come and be rushing, sitting down the way we are always called out. We'll be struggling such that we will now be even bribing, pay the workers 50,000, and some 10,000, some 3,000, 5,000, and the workers will now be feeling large. If you want to even excuse them for talk, they will just be doing their shoulder one kind. I think the job is more than registering people. So all these are the attitudes that is making me to actually speak the way I am speaking. I want you to review your methodology. What is wrong if you create a situation whereby, for instance, today, you go to the Radio Nigeria Ministry, Parastata, to register Daniel and the Director General, everybody in Radio Nigeria, because registration of citizens is not a one-off thing that you will just call people within 2 weeks or 1 month or give us deadline for everybody to be running up and down because of this matter. It's a lifelong thing that you are going to do from now to when Nigeria, if at all Nigeria may end. You will do this thing from now to the world end.
Right,
so that is the approach. That's the approach I think should do. And let me now ask you this question.
Very quickly, Andrew. Please make your point.
Let me ask you this question. What of the people that have done their own 2013, like me now, I have my own card and my registration number. I have the card.
Okay.
My wife is also yet to get her own since that period. What are you people doing concerning such persons taking their own, and how do you harmonize those people who have their cards already with what you are currently doing? Please expatiate further.
Are you talking of the old card that was issued?
No, 2013
No. This national identity management started around 2012, 2015, where they even 2013, and I have done my own. They even sent me tests to come, and I have gone to pick it up. I have the card and the national number. So what is that one with this current one that you people are talking about again? And I'm sure the barrister understands what I'm trying to say.
Yes, she's going to answer this question. Let's just take one or two more, then we'll come back to our guest. Yeah, hello. Your name and location, please.
I am Mohammed Sani, calling you from OG in Port Harcourt, River State.
Port Harcourt, okay. Mohammed Sani.
Please, Moni, I want to ask. I did my registration in 2014. And up to now, the original plastic ID has not been given to me. I don't know whether is it not yet out or not. That is what I want to confirm.
Plastic ID cards.
Yes.
Okay, plastic ID card. Go. All right, thank you. Hello.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning.
My name is Chief Fidel Onyenekas. I'm calling from Owerri in Imo State.
Okay, go ahead, please.
I want to appreciate NIMC for making arrangements towards making it easier for people to register. But let me say that they must extend this to the rural areas. Let them ensure that people who are in the rural dwellers, in the rural areas are enlightened on the need for them to register. Secondly, let them make sure that people are not made to pay any money by the staff of the NIM, and anybody who does that must be appropriately sanctioned. Above all, there is need for public enlightenment so that people will know that this registration is vital for their existence as Nigerians. Let me say that we have a situation where some people go illegally to buy NIN numbers from members of the public. They should also guard the people, tell the people to guard against such exploitation. Right. That is very, very important. Thank you, and God bless you. I'm Fidel Onyenekas.
All right, one last call, then we come back to our guest. Hello, very quickly.
Hello?
Hello.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, good morning. Your name and where you're calling from, and go ahead.
Yes, my name is Adakole.
Adakole?
Yes, I'm calling from Abuja, Nigeria.
Okay. Adakole, what, please?
Please, I would like to...
hello, Adakole, you need to turn down the volume of your radio set. It's too loud.
Okay, I will do that now. I want to appeal to NIMC for their proactiveness. But why is it that if you register, it will take a long time to get your ID card? I want to appeal to them. Let them fast-track the process. You understand? So that at least if you register,
date, in the next 3 weeks, you can be able to get your plastic ID card. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Adakole. Thank you. Okay. So back to you now, Hajia. You have a plethora of questions here to answer.
Okay. Madel Nasser asks whether he can link multiple SIMs to his national identification. Yes, he can link up to 7 numbers.
Okay. 7 is the cutoff now.
So for now, when you are using the national, because there's an app that we developed that is already on Google and Apple Store.
Okay.
When you download that app, you can link, because you can only download the app itself on the number you put on the national ID.
Oh, okay.
So
First
when
of
you
all,
download it, so that's one, you can link 6 additional numbers to it. So even if you have 7 SIM cards, you can go to the 7 providers and link your national identification number with that. So it is allowed, because we recognize that people have SIM for the mobile phones, and they have for their internet devices.
Yes.
So it is
Different
you can link up to 7 numbers.
Okay.
And then the person from
Smile.
Nsuka asks, I feel high level headness of and disrespect by the staff, and then mobile should be implemented and should be communicated. Mobile enrollment. Yes, I sincerely apologize for any disrespect that you receive from any of our staff. You know, they too are under intense pressure, and they are humans, working outside their working hours, you know, and things like that. And the volume of people, not only the volume, the different characters of people that come for registration. So please and please, we sincerely apologize, and we will try as much as possible to caution them on their interpersonal relationship with the clients. Then on the mobile registration, when I was briefing you earlier, I mentioned the issue of some of our licensees who, most of them will even go mobile, because mobile is more effective. You don't need to wait for someone to come to you, because it is not a contract. It is a performance-based project. It's you perform before you get paid. So the more people you enroll and issue in, the more money you get.
At the end of the
month is the more
monthly.
It's monthly payment. It's at the end of the month. So the ability for your agent or your staff to be able to capture correctly and get the NIN, it's what generates money for the company. So it is easier for them to go mobile, follow people where they are, than to wait for people to enter transport and come and meet them where they are. So most of them are doing mobile, and a combination of mobile and fixed offices, which we will communicate. By the end of by next week, when they are going live, they submit their locations, and already we have published the names of the companies. So we will still publish the names of those that have fixed offices where they will be located. And then for mobile, you have the company name, so the staff will come with his ID card registering for NIN, and it is free. As we said, it is free. Nobody should pay a kobo for anything. They are supposed to register, and then we already at our back end, we know what each system is registering.
Okay.
And when they send their invoices, we multiply the number of registration points they have with the NIN they have, and pay them accordingly. So that's how it will be. And then Mr. Andrew from Edo said we should look at our methodology, gave example about what is done in the US and the rest of them, and the issue of bribery. Well, I'm glad that he understands that identity is a lifelong process. That is why identity management came into being, because the previous exercise that was done, the whole borders were locked down for 4 weeks for everybody to be captured. This is not identity management. That's why our offices were open since we were created in 2007, and we started work since 2018. Enrollment offices started working in 2012 and to date, and we are not closing, because it is not only capturing the identity of a person and issuing the person NIN. There are information that will change. So that person should have the ability to walk to any center to say, okay, is a lady was single, she has married, she has done change of name, or you have moved address. You can always walk back to say, this is my need, I'm this person, and you verify to confirm you are the person. You change your address, you modify your address, you modify your name. If you are married or divorced or whatever, you know, you modify your name and things like that. That is identity management. So that is ongoing. On the issue of bribery and the things like that, this is something that is, I have heard so much about this, and even to as far back as 2 days ago, somebody sent me an SMS to say in Zuba, your Suleja office, this is what is happening. Somebody is collecting 1,500 naira to register people. I said, please, can you get me documentary evidence on that? And before the end of the day, he sent me 2 pictures. He sent me 2 pictures of 2 people.
Staff?
No, when he sent to me, as he said, are they your staff? I said, I will confirm and get back to you. Okay. And I sent those 2 pictures to the human resource person. The human resource person called the supervisor of that center and forwarded those pictures. Can you identify this? Are these your staff? And by the time he came back to us, we discovered that the person collecting 1,500 is a security agent, not an NIMC office. And then the other person was collecting between 100 and 200. He's a tout of the local government that is selling form. But people that come for registration will mistook them as our staff. Our staff are inside their offices working, doing enrollment. So if other people are doing, the security agent that was meant to control and protect the people is the same person that was collecting 1,500. Wow. So we are documenting that report to send back to the agency that he works for, to say, this is the picture of the person, this is the information we have, this is what he has been collecting. Because they told me that particular day he collected 1,500 from 80 people.
80?
Yes, in one single day.
That's a lot of money. And
then somebody that comes for registration will say, NIMC staff are collecting money. Our staff that we found wanting, that have collected money in December 2019, we sacked them.
From NIMC?
Yes, we sacked people from NIMC for collecting bribes. Because we need that evidence to show that they have. But when you just tell us that somebody has collected money and you are refusing to come forward with evidence, how do you expect us to prosecute and discipline that staff? So it is also on the citizenry. When somebody is collecting, please document and send to us, and we will deal with it accordingly.
Okay. All right, let's see.
There are still questions now.
There's still more.
Okay, what are people that registered in 2013? Is the same person there? Is the same Mr. Andrew that asked this, and he said he has registered, his wife has registered. Your registration is valid. You already have a NIN. All you need to do is to link your NIN with your other numbers that you have, your SIM numbers. That's what it is. Then another Mohammed from Port Harcourt, that he was registered in 2012. Up to now, he has not been given the original. Mr. Mohammed, your original is that number that you gave you on the slip of paper. That is not temporary. That is the original, because it does not expire. The card has an expiry date because of this. There is a payment on it. So that card expires, but the national identification number does not expire, and that is what we gave you on the slip of paper. NIMC does not issue any temporary document. We don't issue temporary. What we issue you is permanent. Then
we have Fidel.
Yeah, Mr. Fidel. Yes.
A need for public enlightenment.
Yes.
And then check against NIN racketeering.
Yes. Yes, he mentioned racketeering because we had a report sometimes when the first reminder came up on the SIM registration in some part of the country. People going to pay for as high as 3,000 to collect people's name. They are wasting their time. One, by collecting someone's name to link to your phone. The person selling his name, because of 3,000, you are sending you are selling your own person. Because if that SIM holder commits any offense,
Yes.
It is the NIN owner that will be held responsible because you gave your NIN for someone to link it. And the first process of linking the NIN with the SIM also is to check our database to find out the names on that NIN. The picture on that NIN, is it the same with the names and picture given on that SIM? That's one level of clearance that we do. That's why the telcos will not send you immediately that they have cleared your number, because they have to do that check. And when they don't match two different pictures, different names, that linkage will be rejected, and you will have to come yourself to confirm that it is your SIM. There's another level of matching that will be done. This is just the first, because so the person that paid his 3,000 wasted his 3,000. And if by chance they happen to be the same name or they look similarly and it is accepted, you that sold your time, somebody will be sleeping in his house, resting in his house one day, and security agencies will come and carry that person for committing an offense that he knows nothing about because of that 3,000 that he chopped.
Back. Okay. So I think the last, very quickly, Adakole is talking about the need to fast track the process of collection of ID cards.
Yes, ID card is expensive. Printing the ID card, because it is not the ordinary plastic card that they print on ATM. This is 100% polycarbonate in 7 layers with world-class security features on it. So the cost of producing the ID card is high. Federal government assured that it will issue first issuance free, but we all know that the country is in recession. The money cannot go round. So the basic responsibility is to identify a person and issue him a number. And when you have the number, you have everything. Card is an added advantage. Going forward, if the policy change, the government can say, okay, if you need a card, they can make it optional. If you need a card, pay for it and get the card. Some people collect the card and they have never used anything. They have not even loaded 1 kobo on it to even use it.
Okay. Let's now go very quickly to the social media. Our time is fast running out, but very quickly. We have a message here from Mustafa here in Abuja. He says, many Nigerians have criticized NIMC, which is under Communication Ministry, which can still subject people to physical registration at this digital age. This sounds good to be true. The minister should set up modalities that will make the process 100% online, just like CAC business registration, and without people going to any office to prevent spread of COVID-19. It is dangerous and the government cannot afford another lockdown due to the high rate of infection. Okay, so that's from Mustafa. I think we've answered some of these questions.
Well, 100% digital, he's saying it should be made 100% digital. It's already almost 80% digital. Is if you should go and do your pre-enrollment, because once you capture your demographics, you have done 80%. The 20% you have to come, because there are standards that you have to. You cannot just take your fingerprint and send. Okay. Or swap them the way you want and send, or put someone's fingerprint and send to us. Yeah. It has to be used, because we have to take the fingerprint, the face, and the iris complete. Those are the things we do. And that is what confirms your identity before that NIN is issued.
All right, okay. Let's take more very quickly. Obama Amagunze, Enugu State. I registered in 2017, but I didn't get my NIN slip. Can I go and register again?
If you registered in 2017, you have not gotten your NIN slip. They must have given you, there's what we call a transaction slip. And you are supposed to go back with that transaction slip and collect your NIN. So what you will do is, why don't you dial *346# on your phone, on your the mobile phone you gave at registration, to see if you can retrieve your NIN, because your NIN can be maybe ready, they have printed, you have not gone back to collect.
Okay. So we also have from Comrade Henry Hitler from Abuja, quite an interesting name there. What happened to our aged parents in the villages who cannot help themselves? Will they scrap out? What about some communities that are in disarray due to crisis or natural disasters? Well, like somebody was talking about.
Yeah, somebody has, like I said earlier, this is not a contract that we have given the agents. It's performance based. So most of the people in the cities have registered. They want to get more people, they have to go to the hinterland. And even in the payment structure that we made, the fee that for people that go to the hinterland is higher than those that will remain in the cities. So there are incentives given to people to go to the villages and register people. Yeah.
All right, we have the two last ones from Nicholas Additional from Apo here in Abuja. It says, I would like to congratulate the agency for its drive to get an accurate data set for Nigerians. Professor Shibajo has often said we need data to help the government serve the people better. This is surely a step in the right direction. That's a commendation for NIMC.
Thank you.
And then the last one, Chief Akpan Essien from Akwa Ibom. He says the NIM registration is for all Nigerians. What have you done to accommodate the local people and children in primary schools? Thank you. So that's our last
Well,
conclusion.
some of the strategies by these enrollees, like one of the licensees was telling me that they have gotten invitations to come to schools and register them. But one thing you have to realize is for children that are below the age of 16, the parents should make sure that they register. When the licensees go to the school, respective schools, to register the children, we have to tie the identity of the child to that of the parent, because the child is still what we call under 16. In our system, under 16 is what we term underage, because the biometrics are not fully formed until they are 16 years old. So if a child is not 16 years old, then the parents must register, or the guardian must register, and make sure that when they are registering the child in school, he has the number of the child, he completed the form with his own name. So that then child will still get his name. But it is because of the biometric, we link it to an already adult, a guardian that already has a name. So everybody, like I said, from birth, I have had children as early as 4 weeks that we have registered. Registration is from birth.
Okay.
Yes.
So now, some Nigerians are saying that how about utilizing the 774 local government secretariats in the country to enhance registration process, especially to reach the grassroots? Are you looking into this?
As we are now, even the NIMC offices at the local government level are in local government secretariat. But what we have failed to achieve up to now is not NIMC. It's Nigeria as a whole to have shared services. What you call shared services, because by design in every local government, because these are all services of government: birth registration, death registration, marriage registration, national ID registration, NHIS registration, tax, and all of them. They are all government services. So the country needs to redesign the way we do things to make sure that there can be one location in every local government that when you walk into, you can do any of those registrations that you are required to do. And that is like the federal government. We were just having a discussion on federal secretariat at state level. You have federal secretariat, but then every agency is maintaining itself in that federal secretariat. You are running your own generator. If there are 30 agencies, they are running 30 generators. And then they have maybe 60 security guards. Everybody, different security guards. That is not shared services, because that facility is owned, it should be managed by Ministry of Works and Housing. And that ministry should be able to pay the utilities to do the provide security and cleaning for that federal secretariat, not individual agencies.
Okay. So let's just quickly ask this. Nigerians are still asking that. We've said that these services are supposed to be absolutely free.
Yes.
But recently we heard that a change of date of birth or certain data will cost as high as 15,000.
Okay. Registration.
In 30 seconds.
Registration to issue a person with the national identification number is free. However, if you have any reason to amend your name, to amend your date of birth, then you have to pay. It is another process. Government has already done the basic civil responsibility of identifying you and even issuing you a number free. Those are services that consumes time, resources, and personnel. So they are to be paid for. Okay. And date of birth amendment is done once in a lifetime. We will not allow any person to come and amend date of birth twice.
More than once.
More than once, for not more than no. It has to be one. And once only.
Okay. Now, before we go, just a general message to Nigerians on the NIM registration exercise.
Well, the NIM registration is a civic responsibility on each and every one of us. whether we are citizens, permanent residents, or legal residents living and working in Nigeria.
Right.
So it is something that you will need going forward. You cannot even move in Nigeria without have been identified, and identifying yourself with that unique identification number issued by the National Identity Management Commission called NIN. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Now, those were the words on behalf of the Director General and Chief Executive Officer of the National Identity Management Commission, NIMC, Engineer Aliyu Aziz. So if he was represented by the General Manager, Legal, Regulatory and Compliance Services, Hajia Hadiza Dagabana. Thank you so much for giving us your time.
It's my pleasure.